The concept of parallel universes, also known as the multiverse, has long fascinated scientists, philosophers, and writers alike. This idea suggests the existence of alternate realities that exist alongside our own, each potentially different in various ways. While the multiverse theory remains speculative and largely within the realm of theoretical physics and science fiction, there have been numerous unsettling signs and stories throughout history that some interpret as evidence of parallel universes. Here, we explore 10 of these signs, delving into the eerie and mysterious occurrences that continue to perplex and intrigue. 1. The Mandela Effect. The Mandela effect refers to the phenomenon where large groups of people remember an event, fact, or detail differently than how it occurred. This term was coined by Fiona Broome, who discovered that many people falsely remembered Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s, despite his actual death occurring in 2013. The Mandela effect has since been observed in various instances, with common examples. These discrepancies lead some to believe that the Mandela effect is evidence of parallel universes intersecting or individuals shifting between different realities. 2. The Green Children of Woolpit. In the 12th century, 2 mysterious children with green skin appeared in the village of Woolpit in England. According to accounts, the children spoke an unknown language and wore strange clothing. They were discovered near a wolf pit, which gave the village its name. The children initially refused to eat any food other than raw beans. Eventually, they adapted to normal food, and their skin color returned to a normal hue. The boy became sick and died, but the girl survived and learned to speak English. When asked about their origins, the girl claimed they came from a land called St. Martin's Land, which was a place of perpetual twilight and where everyone had green skin. Some theorists suggest that the green children of Woolpit might have accidentally crossed into our world from a parallel universe. 3. The Man from Toward. In 1954, a man arrived at Tokyo's Haneda Airport with a passport from a country called Toward, which did not exist. The man claimed to be from Toward and expressed confusion when shown a map, insisting that Toward was located between France and Spain, where the Principality of Andorra exists. His passport, stamps, and other documents appeared authentic but referenced a non-existent country. The man was detained in a hotel while the authorities investigated. Mysteriously, he disappeared without a trace from his locked and guarded room, along with all his belongings. Some believe that the man from Toward might have come from a parallel universe where Toward is a real country. 4. The disappearing of David Lang. In 1880, David Lang, a farmer in Tennessee, allegedly vanished into thin air while walking across his field in front of his family and a neighbor. Despite extensive searches, no trace of him was ever found. The ground where he disappeared was reportedly examined thoroughly, and there was no evidence of a sinkhole or any other natural explanation. Over time, Lang's children claimed to hear their father's voice calling for help from the area where he disappeared, though the sounds gradually faded. This story is often cited as an example of someone possibly slipping into another dimension or parallel universe. 5. The Philadelphia Experiment. The Philadelphia Experiment is an alleged military experiment that supposedly took place in 1943 at the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. According to the story, the U.S. Navy destroyer escort USS Eldridge was rendered invisible to radar and, some claim, teleported to Norfolk, Virginia, and back. Crew members reportedly experienced severe side effects, including disorientation, madness, and being physically fused to the ship's structure. While the U.S. Navy has denied that such an experiment ever took place, the tale has persisted in popular culture. Some proponents of the multiverse theory suggest that the Philadelphia experiment might have involved the ship slipping into a parallel universe and returning. 6. The Moberly Jourdain Incident. In 1901, 2 English women, Charlotte Ann Moberly and Eleanor Jourdain, claimed to have experienced a time slip while visiting the Palace of Versailles in France. According to their account, they wandered into what appeared to be the 18th century, encountering people in period clothing, and seeing buildings and gardens that did not exist in their time. They even reported seeing Marie Antoinette herself. Upon returning to their own time, they conducted research and found that the descriptions matched historical accounts of the palace and its grounds. The Moberly Jourdain incident is often cited as an example of a potential crossover with a parallel universe. 7. The Ghostly Calls of the Black Knight Satellite. The Black Knight satellite is a mysterious object that some conspiracy theorists believe has been orbiting Earth for thousands of years. It first gained widespread attention in the 1950s when several countries detected unexplained radio signals. Astronomer Duncan Lunan analyzed these signals and claimed they were a map pointing to the Epsilon Bootes star system, sent by an extraterrestrial civilization. Though the existence of the Black Knight satellite is widely debunked by mainstream science, some suggest it could be a relic from a parallel universe or a different timeline, with the signals being attempts at communication from another reality. 8. The Time Traveler of Białystok. In 1951, a man named Alexander was found wandering the streets of Białystok, Poland. He claimed to be from the future and provided detailed descriptions of technological advancements and historical events that had not yet occurred. Alexander had no identification or documentation, and his accounts of the future were dismissed as delusional. Despite this, some of his predictions later appeared to come true, leading some to speculate that Alexander might have been a time traveler from a parallel universe where the timeline progressed differently. 9. The Doppelgangers of Émilie Sarget. Émilie Sarget was a French schoolteacher in the mid-19th century who became famous for the phenomenon of her doppelganger, an apparition that was often seen performing the same actions as Emily but in different locations. Her students and colleagues frequently reported seeing her duplicate, sometimes in the classroom while the real Emily was elsewhere. The doppelganger appeared to mimic Emily's actions but without physical interaction. This eerie phenomenon has led some to speculate that Emily's doppelganger was a manifestation of a parallel universe version of herself, somehow intersecting with our reality. 10. The Vertical Plane of Ken Webster. In the 1980s, Ken Webster, a teacher in England, claimed to have received messages on his computer from the 16th century in the future. These messages, known as the vertical plane communications, purportedly came from a man named Thomas Harden who lived in 1546 and someone from the year 2109. The messages were written in archaic English and described historical events and details consistent with the period. They also contained futuristic predictions and information. The authenticity of these communications has been debated, but some suggest they might be evidence of interactions with parallel universes. Conclusion. The stories and incidents described here represent just a fraction of the numerous unsettling signs and phenomena that have been interpreted as potential evidence of parallel universes. While mainstream science remains skeptical and many of these accounts lack empirical proof, they continue to capture the imagination and curiosity of people around the world. Whether these events are mere coincidences, psychological phenomena, or genuine glimpses into alternate realities, they serve as intriguing reminders of the mysteries that still exist within our understanding of the universe.